At long last, Bridges and Ports is here. If only I set us up for this. In this episode, we're going to build a port and explore the impact this massive update has on our cities. Be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next. Let's get started. As you could probably tell from the last episode, I built this interchange with the hope that I could extend this road out over to this island so that we could build our port over on this island. So in this one, that's what we're going to do. I really like this island because it's got some deep waterways leading up to the island itself, so that way we'll be able to actually get large ship traffic there, and then we've got some nice banks on both sides of the island so I can extend it to either side of the island when I want. I got that inspiration from the Port of Seattle. It's got a kind of similar layout. It's got a nice big island that carries a lot of the port traffic, and then they've got some things on either side of the island that are set up to have actual cargo boat traffic leading up to it. So I'm really excited for this one. It's been a long wait. I think we've all been dying for Bridges and Ports, so I am really excited to get started. I'm recording this before Bridges and Ports, so I just wanted to kind of get the area laid out in a way that will be ready for the update once it gets here. As you can see, we're running a pretty sizable deficit. That's a big problem. I know we're going to need lots of money for actually building the port. My plan to solve that problem is to increase our electricity production. I always find that I'm running an electricity deficit when we're losing money. Ooh, we really don't have any cell phone coverage. I'm going to add in these telecom buildings because without that coverage, that can also cost money. So even though it's spending money, I'm going to go ahead and place a couple of these. I will have to take out some loans too while I'm at it. So I placed down this telecom service block, and I actually really want to talk about it because it's a really cool solution to one of the problems I've had in this game. I find that a lot of the time, in a big city, you're going to have your telecom infrastructure built into these taller buildings. As you build them, you'll invest in the infrastructure in them. In this game, we really don't have that. They'd be on top of these buildings. But I can use this block. I'll place it down inside of a building like this, and then I can add the capacity and I can add the range, and that will give it a ton of capacity. So obviously this is a little bit large. It's probably even a little bit unrealistic how much coverage we're getting from here. But something that's important to remember is, one, without a range and capacity, it doesn't work. And two, it's also, it expands very quickly. So don't place more than one of the range or capacity upgrades unless you want to completely eliminate telecom service as a challenge in the game. Honestly, it's a little bit too easy the way that this place, it's covering the entire new downtown area that we built. But this is just a really cool solution. I wish it had a little bit less capacity, but still, it's just really cool, so I kind of wanted to point it out. So now that my fixation with the network capacity is over, we can come back and we can look at these wind turbines. I want to add some additional farmland. I'm going to lay out some blocks so that we can add a couple of additional wind turbines to make up for that deficit in power production. So I'm going to designate this new farming area and build a windmill inside of it. From what I can find online, it seems like windmills, when they are parallel to the wind, need to be at least 5 rotor diameters behind each other. And if they are perpendicular to the wind, they need to be at least 3 rotor diameters off from each other. This spot back here is neither of those things, but it is most of both of them. So I'm just going to go with it. I think it's close enough. I don't want to expand too far. I'm also going to add in some farming area underneath this windmill and around it. I just want to make sure that it fits well into the theme that we've developed here. The farmland development expansion is planned for a future episode. Somebody had discussed in their videos, I forget who, but if I use grain farming here, I won't have this issue where I've got all these greenhouses popping up in the middle of it. I've also obviously had a couple of fires here where I had to jump in and get rid of a bunch of trees to make sure that the place didn't burn down, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that up now. Now that Coos Orchard is back to its former glory, I want to revisit this interstate construction site. I'm going to keep everything connected, but I think it is time to expand the 4-lane divided interstate all the way to the edge of the map. It makes sense. Any kind of major industrial project like this is going to need us all the way out to the edge here. I want to make sure that Eugene and whatever other cities are over there can access the port. I'm going to clip that out. You don't need to see me remove this construction site, but I'm going to leave this bridge intact. I want to be able to take advantage of it in the future, and I don't want to lose that investment in the infrastructure. And now at long last, we get to finally upgrade this infrastructure to American standards. I'm going to detail this area up a little bit, and then we'll be ready to start working on the port area. I'm loading into bridges and ports for the first time, and our population is plummeting. Our money is jumping up. All of those things are to be expected from the update. And while we wait for those things to stabilize a little bit, I really want to upgrade this bridge to one of the new ones from the new pack. So now that we've replaced this with one of these just beautiful new bridges, I'm ready to get started on the port. Like I said earlier, I really want to build this port over on this island. First thing I'm going to do is buy up this map tile. So to connect our road network up, I'm going to bridge across this river over here. I just want to make sure that we can get plenty of traffic in. I'll build a trumpet interchange out on the island so that we have plenty of traffic flow. I am also going to build a recycling center and a small industrial park on the island itself. Again, I'm kind of mimicking the Port of Seattle. They've got like a little node down on the south part of the island that really just isn't, it doesn't seem like it's part of the port. So I will start by connecting this up, and then we can go from there. As I'm building this, I'm realizing I never actually purchased the progression node to use any of the water features, so we wouldn't have been able to use anything. I'm going to do that now so that way I can get this drawbridge up and running in a way that looks pretty cool. So now to start this interchange, I'm going to put down our main arterial road. I'm going to use this 4-lane, not divided highway that should give us plenty of capacity, and I will go ahead and get the interchange all hooked up. Okay, I really like the way this looks like we've got a bit of a roller coaster over here. I must not have been paying too much attention to my heights. I'm going to give this another try. Now that our trumpet interchange is done, I'm ready to actually place down the main port gate. I want to use the medium port gate. I think it's just about the right size, maybe a little large, but good for an expansion-oriented project. So I want to be really careful with how we place this. I don't have any money, and it can be really hard to replace this once it's actually down. I want to make sure we're relatively close to the coast. That looks good to me. So now I found it fits a little bit better if I use the 3-lane highway to connect up to the actual port entryways. They're just the same width road. I know I lose the lane. I know there's no actual value to doing this, but I don't really care. I think it looks better, and I kind of want it to look like that. So I'm going to outline the port area now with a bunch of the actual port quays and roads. I'm going to have at least enough space for a couple of cranes, including one inside the island where we used to have this, I want to call it a little inlet. And I'm going to outline the entire area and just make sure that we have a general framework set up. So now I've had a little bit of an issue with placing these cranes, so I kind of want to plan out ahead. I'm going to take out another small loan to make sure that I have enough money to place this one, and then I'm going to try and outline the area that we need for this crane before I place it to try and avoid using anarchy. I've just had a couple of small issues with the way that it works when I don't. So now before I forget, I want to make sure that we're connected up to water and power. Now that we're connected up to water and power, I'm ready to run a narrow seaway all the way from this crane to the outside world so we can get it all hooked up. While I wait for these boats to come in, I'm going to expand our storage area a little bit by adding some more of these container yards. Because I'm not nearly patient enough to wait for this thing to level up the way I'm supposed to, I am going to expand the storage area by basically extending this exact same block out one more, so I'll have 4 container yards, and then I will add an additional warehouse up at the top. So now that we've saved up a little money, we're going to pay off our loans. No, just kidding. We're going to take out more so that way I can actually build a recycling center, because I don't want to let the game run without actually solving that problem right now. So obviously I don't want this to face the highway, and I don't really want it backing onto the highway, so I'm going to place it right here, and that'll give us a nice, quick, easy connection to this 4-lane highway. Hopefully it'll solve a lot of our problems, because I've been gradually expanding the garbage dump, and it has just been completely overflowing. So the next stage in this development is going to be our second domestic cargo crane. So I'm going to place that right here, right near the one that's heading, I don't remember what direction it was heading in. But when I say domestic, I'm talking about these initial routes that were put in the map by Poplar Ponderosa. So if we look at them, we've got this one heading south towards what I imagine would probably be Los Angeles, and that's where I had the original route going, so that makes a fair amount of sense. We'll rename that just to make sure that it fits pretty well. There we go. And then we also have one to the north where it's called Magnolia right now, but we're going to change that to Seattle because that would be heading up to the port of Seattle. So we've got those 2 domestic lines. Eventually we'll end up adding some international connections. From what I can find online, it seems like that would probably be the port of Singapore and the port of Hong Kong for our next 2 external international lines. But for the time being, we can just focus on connecting up this domestic line. So I'm going to go ahead and connect that up so we can get it started. So now I've been waiting a while, and we're only at 4 of 20 million transported goods, so I'm starting to worry that we don't have the demand or the production to actually get any of this like significant cargo traffic, so I'm going to work on developing up this industrial area. I'm going to do the same kind of thing that I did over here. I really like to splice buildings together like this, so I'm going to use the same strategy and add a couple of signature buildings over there while I do it. And looking at the fuel plant, I really like this asset, so I think I'm going to place this one out here. We don't really have any oil production, but I don't know that I care all that much. I'm going to cheat, and we're going to place it right here. I think it's a pretty cool fit for this area. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why are there so many burned down houses? What did I do wrong here? There are so many of them. Oh my god, they're not in the district. They're not in the district. I cannot believe that I made that mistake. Oh my, they didn't have any fire coverage because I didn't put them in a district. Oh, god, that's foul. I cannot believe that I did that. Oh, what a rookie mistake. I'm gonna replace these and then I will get back to the port. So now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to place our first international crane. So I'm going to go ahead out to the map, and I'm going to have to create a new external connection that Poplar didn't originally place on this map. So I am going to use a medium seaway, and we are going to add Hong Kong as an external route. So I've noticed that our port has shipped, I don't remember the unit, but 10 million goods. So I'm going to add this auxiliary gate and connect it up so we have a direct connection to the rest of the island. I'm also going to add a zone for this entire area so that way I can assign services here if we need them. One of the big bits of detailing I want to do in this area is I want to add these stained decals to the top of these warehouses. There's absolutely no way that these would stay this bright for very long. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make sure that one side is darker than the other, but I'm going to add lots of these awesome stained decals from Sully to the top of this roof. I've added a fourth crane here, and I'm going to add another line that will take us from Coos Bay all the way out to Singapore. Because the dopamine rush of solving traffic problems is so overwhelming that I can't help myself, I noticed that we don't have any buses here. We're getting a ton of traffic, so I want to try and get an express route between our main bus station here and Butler Crossing. We're also completely out of buses, so I'm going to take advantage of some of this area that I had earmarked for some additional depot buildings, so that way we can have just a little bit more capacity. So I'm zooming around and I'm seeing, what is this car doing? Holy crap, they are really upset about the traffic. They are throwing a goddamn fit. This route is just getting a ton of usage, and honestly, I'm a little bit worried that we're going to overwhelm our small bus station here. Clearly, there's a lot of demand. We've got 812 passengers waiting, so I am going to add another route that goes from the Vermont station to the industrial area and then to Butler Crossing, so that way we have a little bit of redundancy in that network. If you couldn't tell by me getting distracted by solving traffic problems, I'm getting really impatient waiting for this port to level up, so I'm just going to place some of the smaller buildings. I can always come back and replace them with the larger buildings later on. So in my insane swirl earlier, I already did a lot of detailing, but I want to finish up the detailing in this area, especially out by the highway. I want to have lots of flowers and manicured trees and bushes because I think that this is an area that the city would want to look nice. A lot of people are going to experience the port, both domestically and even some international citizens are going to come by and see this. So I imagine we're going to want it to look nice. I'm going to add lots of stain decals to the rest of it, though, to, of course, make it maybe a little bit more realistic. I think it's pretty evident when, even from a distance, that it just looks better with the stain decals than it does without them. So I'm going to make sure that we've got plenty of those. It looks great. I'm also going to make sure that we have some walk-around parks and some hang-around parks for people to be in, especially up here. I just want to make sure that there are some park amenities for the dock workers to enjoy during their lunch break. So I know I said that I built these park spaces for leisure, but in reality, we're going to take advantage of them to expand this port when we need to with some of these other structures. So, the constant ever marching progress. Very exciting. But at least for now, it adds a lot of natural beauty and makes the place not just a giant concrete pad. once again, I've gotten criminally distracted, and I've noticed that we've got a lot of abandoned farms, especially these smaller ones. It seems, from what I can see, that the profitable farms are likely to be larger ones. So I'm going to go through Coos Orchard, remove these farms that were not profitable, that were abandoned, and try and consolidate some of these blocks into larger ones in the hopes that that will provide us with some more profitable farming industry. So I know I jumped around a lot in this episode, so if you stuck with me to the end, I really appreciate it. This next episode coming up is going to be a big one. I'm going to be working through the entire region, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that way you get notified when that episode comes out. I really appreciate any interaction with the video as well, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.